experience. Alexis just.
I wonder what the difference is between having those and not having those.
So,
Having what?
Those things. Like, what do those do?
Spit.
Oh, so you're gonna get all of our germs on your.
That's correct. But our DJs won't because I'll put them back on.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
Oh, okay.
It's like DJs use them, podcasters don't. In my head, that makes sense, but it probably doesn't. Absolutely nothing. Okay, you all are ready to record episode 1. You're up and live. If you ever need to see what time you're at, these little blue numbers down here will give it away. Also up here. So you're at 2 minutes 20 seconds, 2 minutes 50 seconds.
Okay.
Glance over that. I know it's really, really small. Some people would put the timer on their phone just so they know where they're at. But that's the beauty of podcasts, is you're not on really a time constraint, so it's whatever works out best for you.
And we got the
You got it right there too.
Anyway.
Who's entering and who's exiting?
Okay,
It doesn't matter.
then I guess you all set. Should I hit the click thing?
Oh, there we go.
Ladies, have a great episode. Holler at me when you're done.
This
Okay,
would be like
will do.
totally.
Thank you.
This
Yep,
would totally be
you're
something
welcome.
I would look at, like in AI, about like a catchy like goodbye
Yeah.
phrase.
We
it doesn't
can
matter.
always change it though. Like just because we
Yeah,
did it
that's
for
true.
this episode, like I feel like if we figure out something we want to do that's like catchier, we can just change it. I mean, how many shows do you watch and like the intro pilot is like way different than like what it ends up being?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Whole characters disappear.
Full House, Roseanne. I'm just thinking of like all the
Yeah.
old sitcoms.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So let's just go with it.
Okay. Well, your background goes first, so why don't I open?
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I always
Yeah.
forget. Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone, to our first episode. We are Spiritual Signs and Metaphysical Minds. Let's try that again. All right. God, this is so weird. Okay. Welcome, everyone, to Spiritual Signs and Metaphysical Minds. We are your hosts, Bridget and... Okay. All right. So am I going to say Alexis or are you going to say?
I don't know. What do you think is better?
And I'll say, how about I say Bridget and Alexis? And then I'll say, hi, Alexis.
Okay. That's good.
And then, but after that, are you going to take over or are we?
Yeah, that's fine. I can just say like, yeah, today we're going to talk about.
Should we talk about? Okay. No.
I'll say like, today for our pilot episode, like we're going to be, talking about.
Do we need to make a sentence about, or maybe I should do it. Spiritual Signs and Metaphysical Minds, your go-to metaphysical podcast or something, like so that they, even though I know it's in the title. What do you think? No, it's not necessary. I guess we can see how it sounds.
Yeah. Okay. And then are we going to say anything? Well, no. Okay, we're good.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like there needs to be a transition sentence in between our intro and you going right into your background.
Yeah. I feel like I need to burp from drinking that drink. And I'm like, I really, like, can it just come out, please? So it doesn't happen while we, like, start our episode. Okay. Anyways. Okay, so what if you do the introduction and then, I don't know.
How about I say, hi, Alexis, blah, blah, and I'll say, how about say something like,
we can just say, like, how are you today? Like, how are you feeling about it, first episode? We can talk about, like, if we feel nervous or excited or whatever.
okay, sounds good.
That's, like, authentic, right?
Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody, to Spiritual Signs and Metaphysical Minds. Okay.
You were good.
I
That was
know. And it's really sad that I have to look at the actual name of our podcast. Okay. Welcome, everyone, to Physical Sign. Oh, my God. I didn't look. Welcome, everyone, to Spiritual Signs and Metaphysical Minds. We are your hosts. My name is Bridget, and this is Alexis. Hello, Alexis.
Hello, Bridget.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
A little nervous.
Yeah, me too. But we're going to get through it.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So this is our first episode. And I'm excited.
Me too.
So Bridget and I had talked about maybe giving, I don't even know how to introduce this. Like, what do we say?
That's what I'm saying. Like, so maybe we'll say something like most podcasts, or like most first podcast episodes.
We want you to get to know us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
All right. Yeah.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to Spiritual Signs and Metaphysical Minds. My name is Bridget, and this is Alexis. We are your hosts for this podcast. Oh my God, we're gonna be here
It's
all
fine.
day.
I don't know that we have to start over again each time.
Okay,
like,
okay.
Because Steve can pull whatever
Okay,
intros the
okay.
best. So,
So, hi, Alexis.
hey,
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. A little bit nervous, but that's to be expected for the first episode.
Absolutely.
So we'll get through it.
Yeah.
So I felt like today we should really let our listeners in on kind of who we are, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess I'll start. My name is Alexis Early, and I am a psychic and medium in the Frederick community. And I just recently, like in the past probably 3 years, have really like come out of the shadows and started giving people readings and seeing clients.
Out of the shadow.
But I've always kind of had like a sense of knowing, a sense of like, things outside of this realm, I guess. I moved to Frederick when I was 15, and my parents bought a inn. It's called Gabriel's Inn, and it was from back before like the Civil War. So there was a ton of spiritual activity, and that's really what like awakened me, so to speak. And because I would just see and hear a lot of things that
No one else could see.
yeah. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say.
I mean, do you feel that's enough about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I would like to talk about what pushed me into like giving like
Okay. And then you could also talk about like your I mean, you could essentially, the bio we made, we could just, in our own words, think about the bio that you wrote for the podcast.
Okay.
You know?
All right. So then let's just start over then.
Okay.
Steve, let's just scratch that. Okay. All right. Yeah, so I thought for this first episode, we could give a little bit of background about ourselves so our listeners know a little bit more about, who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Alexis Early. I live here in Frederick, Maryland, and I am married. I've got a 4.5-year-old son and a baby girl on the way, 3 dogs, and 6 chickens. So that's a little bit about my family. As far as what I do, my husband and I do own a pest control business, Potomac Pest and Termite Control. Call us for any of your pest control needs.
Shameless
And and then I am a psychic medium. So I do see clients. I give readings on a regular basis. And I started doing that about 3 years ago. A little bit after kind of all the COVID stuff. I was working in a corporate job, and then just a series of things happened, and I felt like I was being called to do more. So that is what brought me here. But I've always had like a sense of knowing. I've always seen things that other people don't necessarily see, or known things that other people don't know. Just been more in tune with my intuitiveness, I guess. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. What about you, Bridget?
So let's see here without having to like write a whole novel. I am a massage therapist, but before I was a massage therapist, I was a teacher. I grew up in a big Catholic, Irish, Italian family. Did everything the right way. I went to college for home economics. So I was a home economics teacher for 10 years at the middle school level and the high school level. And I was married to a not so nice man. And in May 2020, I left and met another man who was wonderful, but he helped me with my spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
We were together for just under a year, and he overdosed and died, and that sparked my spiritual awakening. And I got into Reiki. I quickly became a Reiki master. My cousin is my Reiki master, so it runs in our family. And then soon after that, living in Carroll County at the time, I quickly realized that wasn't going to necessarily be something I could do full time, just because Carroll County is not Frederick, let's just say that. And so then the next best step was to go to massage school. So I did that in a year and became a massage therapist. I don't know if I would call myself a medium. I'm maybe like a baby medium.
I think that she definitely has medium capabilities. It's just she's in the early stages of growing those. And the biggest thing with that is just like getting your ego out of the way, your ego wants to tell you that like you don't know that, or you aren't hearing that, or whatever. So it's really just like going with whatever it is that you're being given.
Yeah. And that's also been something that's been like runs in the family. Does it run in your family?
I think that my mom was definitely very intuitive, but my family is very I would say they're just coming around to this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my family kind of like, they know it, but they like kind of make it a joke. Mm-hmm. Not like in a joke, like it's not real way, but like it's just a funny thing that we're like able to do. Yeah. Not anything you could like actually do for a living. Mm-hmm. So anyway, then a few years later, I met my now fiance, and we live at Elk Run Vineyards in Mount Airy and have 5 kids, 2 dogs, 7 chickens, and 2 ducks. Oh, and me and Alexis's chickens, well, some of her chickens and almost all my chickens are sisters. So we're like
sister wives?
Chicken sister wives? We don't know what to call it. Aunts? I don't know how it works.
Yeah. So I guess we should talk about how we met, right?
Yeah. I like that story.
So last year, a medium friend of mine, Terry Rodabaugh, and her partner, Rhonda Russo, they had a metaphysical fair. It was their first one. They actually just did another one last weekend. Mm-hmm. They usually hold them at the Walkersville Fire Department, and we'll definitely post about them when they do another one on our page. But Bridget and I met each other there. We were like basically immediately kind of like drawn to each other. Like it was like we had known each other before. Mm-hmm. And I ended up giving Bridget a reading. Unfortunately, I did not get the time to get a massage, but she has since then given me multiple massages. So it's fine. So yeah, that's kind of how we met. And the friendship's kind of taken off from there. And here we are doing this podcast. So
yeah. So why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this? That's a great question. So my why is because I feel like it's just been in the last couple of years that light workers have really been more accepted in the community, right? And have been able to kind of like come out of the shadows. Not that we were like hiding, but I just feel like there's a lot more people that are coming around to, the metaphysical, wow. The metaphysical.
I mean, that's a thing, a medical medium.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. Okay. There's a lot more people just coming around to like this metaphysical stuff and the spiritual stuff. And so I just really want to spread the word. And most importantly, I really just want to bring the light worker community together. I've just, I want to spread awareness about, what we're all about. There's a lot of scammers out there now, a lot of people that are pretending to be, psychics and mediums and instilling fear and trying to get money from people. So I just want, our guests to know what to look out for when they are looking for a reading, and kind of just bring everybody in the community together.
And my why is a little bit different. I want people to know that they are not alone. I've been through a lot of different kinds of things in my life. I remember before I was divorced, knowing that I wanted to leave and being too scared to leave, and kind of just being in that space for a long time. And I know personally a lot of people that are in that situation, and you can't like tell anyone, like I could tell you to leave till I'm blue in the face for whatever reason, but you kind of have to have, do it on your own. So just someone that knows what that's like, or, the whole opioid epidemic.
Yeah.
People are dying left and right from that. And I know what it's like, firsthand to lose someone suddenly like that. We also have little kids, and it's hard. It is so hard. And I am forever overstimulated. I love my kids so much, but man, it's hard. So I want them to know that they are, moms to know they're not alone. And, it's okay to be like, God, my kid was a jerk today. And you're not a bad mom for thinking that.
I always say, like, I've never had a little human that I can be like so mad at and love so much at the same time. Like, it's wild.
Yeah. And sometimes my kids will like say something to me, and it's kind of like a whole like universe thing, like, oh, that was karma right there.
Mm-hmm.
Or, that's me. That's what I get. Like,
yeah, I definitely put my parents through the ringer, so I'm, expecting to get some of that back, but crossing my fingers that I don't.
Oh, I was the perfect firstborn Catholic girl, firstborn daughter.
Oh,
I
really?
couldn't do anything.
That was my brother. My brother was like, never got in trouble, never got grounded, never, got straight A's, and I was like, all about the boys, running with my friends, lucky if you got a C out of me, like,
I love it.
But I was also like that personality that always got caught, right? Like anytime I did something, I always just like managed to get caught. So I was like grounded for most of my high school career. So
funny.
So, but hopefully the universe will have mercy on me and not let my kids do that to me.
God has a really
But my 4.5-year-old is pretty sassy, so we'll see. And I'm expecting a girl here soon, so yeah, I'll hold my breath.
Keep holding it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess we want to talk about what's to come, right?
Yeah. So we brainstormed a bunch of ideas about things that we definitely want to talk about. And of course, we want to hear from you guys too, about, just if things pop up in your brain when you're listening to our podcast, when they come up in conversation. I know it's going to happen for us organically anyway, but if you listen to this podcast and be like, oh, I'd really like to learn more about XYZ or whatever, let us know.
Even if it's something that we kind of just like touch on and you want us to go more in depth about it, we'd love to do that too.
Right. Like if I say, oh, I got my, what is it? Akashic. Yeah, okay, I said it right. Like if I said, Steve, edit that part. Like for example, if we're talking about something and I mention Akashic records, but then I just keep going, just be like, what's that? And then, we could probably do a whole episode on
Q&A.
Whatever word. Yeah. We're rambling.
Okay. Yeah, we are, but that's okay. But yeah, we want to have a ton of guests on here, different light workers in the community. We hope to get, an animal communicator on here, our fellow mediums and psychics, some past life regression, some intuitive therapists. We can talk about like cool metaphysical stuff like fairies and, dwarves and elves and all those
dragons.
Kind of things. Yeah.
I'm reading a book on dragons right now.
But we also want to be, in addition to kind of talking about this metaphysical stuff, we also want to give you a little bit, of insight into our lives as moms and bring a little bit of that into the podcast as well.
Or if you like have any questions about massage or your muscles or anything like that, I'm a pretty good massage therapist. I know the body pretty well. Maybe edit that out, Steve. It sounds like
you could take that.
Like I give happy endings or something.
Use the code word for a happy ending.
No. Did I ever tell you what Julian did? This might be a funny story for the podcast. With the Craigslist ad.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so this was a couple months ago. He was just trying to help me out. I had just gotten licensed, getting the word out, right? And he goes, "Oh, I made you like an ad on Craigslist for EKW." And I'm like, "Cool." And I like didn't want to like say anything because I'm like, "Oh God," I'm thinking, "What kind of ad is this?" And he did not mean it like that at all. And then a few weeks later, I get a text from someone, and it's this guy wanting a massage at like 8:00 at night, which I can do. But then I'm like, cool, we set a time, and then he asked me for a picture.
Oh.
And I was like, Julian, take down my ad. Because I was like, where did you find me? And he said, Craigslist. And I was like, Julian, take down the goddamn ad. People think that I'm like a prostitute, so that's fun.
Yeah, Craigslist is definitely pretty sketchy. I'm not sure it would ever.
I would not have either.
He was just trying to buy anything off of Craigslist at this point. I feel like every scam starts with, "I saw it on Craigslist."
I got my dog off Craigslist. True story.
Really? Yeah, my sister-in-law tried to buy a dog off Craigslist. It didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't end well, but it ended up being the scammer.
That sucks.
But yeah.
But that was like in 2010 or something.
I guess I have looked at jobs on Craigslist a long time ago, back in the day.
Yeah. But now that Facebook Marketplace is like taking over, there's really
there's so many scams on there too now though. I mean, even I listed like a stroller like a year ago, and I like had people scamming me. Like, "Oh, send me a code for your Venmo," or and then they get like access to your Venmo and take your money. So that's fun. But there's always good with a bad. So I don't know. Kind of okay. Steve, I know you're going to take out all these awkward silences. All right. So we did do a contest on our Facebook page. And we have 2 people that we are going to be giving. What did I do with it? That we are going to be giving either a reading or a massage, whatever you guys decide you'd like to do. 30 minutes, I think, is what we had said, or was it 15? Can't remember.
Oh, no, it's definitely 30.
30. Okay. So we had done, we decided that we were going to do a little contest for the people that follow us on our Spiritual Signs and Metaphysical Minds Facebook page. And you had to like our page, comment,
and
share, and tag some friends. And so we have 2 people who won the contest. So they can pick a 30-minute reading with me, or 30-minute massage session or Reiki session with Bridget. And those people are Ashley Ellen and Beverly Scufetta. And Beverly, I'm really sorry if I said your last name wrong. I apologize. Scufita. Okay, so yeah, Ashley Ellen and Beverly Scufita, please reach out to us via Facebook, and we will get you
scheduled. And I will also make a Facebook post tagging them in it.
Okay.
Sometime today, probably, because by the time this gets put on, it'll be like a week and 10 days or whatever.
Yeah, this is true.
You have limited time, child.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maybe we should talk about, make a comment about our businesses and like how they work, mention how you can do your Happy Heart Healer, and you can come to my house, or I can go to your house, or we can do Zoom, and I can say something about like where I'm located and how I do with Frederick on Fridays.
Okay. How are we introducing that though?
I don't know, he's just gonna have to cut it and maybe put it up by like when we first introduce ourselves.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to do. So Steve, this part, you know what to do. We don't need to tell you. You're the editing guru. Yeah, so my business is Happy Heart Healer, and you can book a reading with me through Facebook or Instagram. I hope to have a website soon, to be continued, ... But you can book with me at either of those places. I do Zoom and in person. Most of my in-person readings have been at my house so far, but I do plan to start giving in-person readings at Soul Aura Crystals in downtown Frederick on Market Street. If you haven't been there, check it out. However, I'm not going to be beginning to do that until after I have my daughter. So it'll probably be, another 3 months or so before I'm giving in-person readings there. And obviously, while I'm recovering, I'm only going to be doing Zoom readings. But you can book with me through Facebook or Instagram. Either one is fine.
And her rates are very, very reasonable.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
And then my business is Enchanted Karma Wellness. I am located at Elk Run Vineyards. So you can come for a massage or a Reiki session and a glass, if you are of age. A glass of wine is included in the price of the massage. And then just recently, I am going to be in Frederick on Friday. So if you're like in Frederick and you're one of those Frederick people that don't like to leave town, because there's a lot of you, you can come see me on Fridays. I am in an office, actually, psychic medium Rhonda Russo's office, and it is right behind the Mountain Diner. What's that diner called?
Mountain View Diner?
Mountain View Diner. It's
yeah,
like
on 40.
Yeah. So in between like 40 and Butterfly Lane. So yeah, I also do distance Reiki. So you can do distant Reiki a couple different ways. But you can like be on a Zoom call with me, or 9 times out of 10 my clients that do distance Reiki just kind of go about their day and I just do Reiki on them. And then any kind of downloads is just a keyword like messages from spirit. I typically I'll do it at like 2:00 while they're at work, and then I'll send them a video of anything I get from their clearing. Okay.
Cool. I have done downloads too, but mostly for like house clearings and things like that.
What do you mean?
Cool.
Like
when I came to your house and we walked through your house and I like told you kind of what I was getting and got more stuff later.
Oh, right. You sent me those.
Yeah. Just, a lot of times, especially like when you walk into places that are really old, you will just be like bombarded with like all these different things, and you kind of have to like tune them out in the moment, like, and just sort of sort out one thought at a time, and then later on you can kind of like come back to them and just kind of.
I was gonna ask you, like, it's not like you have to remember, right? Because they'll just repeat themselves.
Yeah, they'll just repeat themselves usually, and later on, when I kind of sit down and like my intention is to download that information, I'll usually get like more insight into, that energy source or whatever, and then like just a better understanding of sort of everything that I was getting. So, and new stuff will come through. So cool. It's kind of cool.
Did I tell you? I don't remember if I told you. Okay, so I'm finding this is going to happen. We had to like clue them into conversation. So my aunt passed away in November, like days after her 50th birthday, and our whole family is heartbroken, and I haven't heard from her since she's passed. So the other day in the hospital, I was really hungry, and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and I asked the nurse for some Jell-O or whatever, and I'm pretty sure my aunt came to me and told me to try the rice pudding. They don't have rice pudding. I don't know what it was about, but I'm pretty sure it was her. And I was like, where have you been? That's all.
How long has it been since you passed away?
November.
Okay,
So like 7 months.
Okay, all right. So I think you'll probably start to like feel her and hear from her more. Typically, I tell my clients at least 6 months after the person's passed away, just because like when they first have passed on, there's kind of like this transitionary period, where they're like seeing their life review and kind of like transitioning from being down here in human form to being up there in spiritual form. And so it's a little bit harder for them to like tap into our energy field and kind of, give messages. Plus they're busy. So that's the best way I could put it.
Plus they're busy. They have their own lives.
Not that they don't, they
Bridget.
still, they still love you and care about you. They're watching you. But they're making that transition.
Right.
So
catching up with their own people that they haven't seen.
Exactly. And I like to describe heaven or whatever, you believe in, as just like this utopic place where you're just happy to see everybody, right? Like, of course, your people, you love your people, but like, you love everybody. It's not like here where it's like, you don't really care about the stranger on the street. It's like, you love that stranger. They're just like the best.
Aw, awesome. I love it.
So, well, I guess that's a wrap for our first episode. How do we want to end it? Thanks for joining us on Spiritual Signs and Metaphysical Minds. Bridget and I will see you next episode. Love and light.
I love it.
That's
That
it.
was great.
All right, we're done. 34 minutes. Although it's